Yeah, we're here with the legendary black belt Thomas Coe. Tom, can you tell these people what they need to do on the YouTube channel?
Like, share, and subscribe to the Happy Pill Project on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok.
Everywhere.
Last week I was going through the whole sequencing on mounting, right? So pretty simple. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things, nothing hard. All you're doing is grabbing, if you can, some form of your fingertips underneath his armpit. That'd be great if you could, because then that allows me to pull this back as I drive my shoulder forward, so I really control the jawline. Secondly is I would love to be able to control this elbow, so I want to pay attention to it. You'll see different scenarios where a person might sit this way, push this knee down a little bit to make spacing. Yeah, I know, they could do that, and I get it. And usually it's done more with gi because of the bite of the fabric, but in no gi, no way. Not in a high level black to black. You'll do it because the bottom player maybe is trying to survive, he doesn't know enough, or you feel you're just so much more dominant physically, skill-wise, that once you mount, you don't really care what the position of the elbow is because you understand how to follow all the sequences depending on how he bucks or turns. So I just want you to understand when we're doing it, when we're not, okay? So I'm saying that, hey, he's a really good player though, and I don't feel comfortable because of size-wise, I'm the smaller player, he's the bigger player, he's much more physical than me, and I'm worried about sitting through like this because if he's this really powerful guy, he's gonna press me away. And I'm sitting on my hip, I'm non-athletic right now. So there's a likelihood there's gonna get separation between us, and then most likely I have to return to this leg and attack this leg. But I painted this whole scenario, why you're doing, what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how come, right? But this time we're mounting. So I told you to control the elbow, get a good bite of this, pay attention to what the draw line is because I only want him to look one way. I don't want him to have the opportunity to turn back into me because I'm making a commitment to drive this way. Then I said there were two things on this side that mattered to me. Because I'm driving so aggressively, I would like to make two stabilizers on this side. One is going to be my hand and one's going to be my head. And what I mean by that is I'm driving and driving and driving, my head's basing, my hand is floating. But the whole time I'm very aware of where this elbow is. Okay, so I'm not letting it at any point does it come out from under me. So if he moved or something, it came out, no way, I back up also because I need to recollect it. So my goal is to put two things on that side. So I have some form of stability to balance myself on that side. And it's not that easy for him to throw me over because I can float this hand, and if I have to bail on this elbow and really stabilize out because he was so big and I underestimated his strength and how far he could rotate, I could always drop that and come back. Okay, so you understand you're not in a lot of danger there. Now on this side, there were two things also that benefited me on this side. If I grab this bite very aggressively and I'm driving it, then I have some form of control over here. Now I want to amplify that with my back leg. So if I asked you to turn, if I turned around for you, and most people on that side, obviously this kneecap is going to look for this pocket of this V shape, okay? You're going to get different angles on this. And it's a great time to heel hook because if he penetrates on the inside and the shelf is there, I could always sit back to this, okay? But I'm determined to mount, okay? So if for some reason that pocket goes from here to here, this thing became exposed on him, okay? So just for your thoughts, okay? But I'm telling you, we're mounting today. So I got a great bite of that armpit. You know what I need on that side is my head and my hand, so I get a great stabilizer. I've looked for the pocket here, and all of a sudden I start to find that I'm getting insertion here. So on this side, I have two things generating for me too. I have the shoulder that's controlling the jawline, making him face this way. I also have this free leg. So I want to use it as a generating force to bring horsepower so that I can get to this point. Because once I get to this point, it looks kind of weird where we are, but I got a great opportunity now to mount him. Let's turn the other way again. So we're like this, and the reason I'm saying this is that what happened now is my knee line came in, I'm generating so much force, I'm at this 45-degree angle, so when I bridge off of this, and I turn my body weight to start planking above him, what's going to happen is there's a big pocket over there. So I'm just going to ask you to slide your knee forward. I'm not going to ask you to flip your hip. It's a different flip. Okay? And if you want to practice that foot, I saw Master Carl working leg locks today. I'm fine with you practicing that one also, where you sit back on that leg, because that kneecap's going to have different angles on you. Okay? Let's partner and do it. You know what? If you go, oh, I don't really need to. And then you do this thing live, and what if this was a real street fight? I've been there on a mount. like, unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say, I have been in street fights. And I've been there, and like, man, your head's bucking all over the place. The moment it hits that ground, boy, you end up like, it's blood everywhere. So get used to putting your forehead on the mat. Number two is this elbow. Pay attention to how the elbow's like this, right? My rotations on my shoulders, I have frozen shoulders from so many injuries, so I can't rotate much. But don't leave your arm out like this, because the moment he bucks, he's gonna recover that thing in 2 seconds. This guy's like this, right? I'm constantly just driving this portion of my arm into the armpit, and my hand's floating that way. Right? You should have external rotation. I mean, everybody's probably better than me in this room, so I could do it. So you should be able to. Okay. When we're mounting, obviously, sometimes you're not gonna get this pocket. So how about we just start the process of learning how to fall back? And that's what I mean by it. I'm like this. So let's keep it like sideways. I'm like this, and I'm trying to drive his knee, and he's bringing this kneecap up, right? And now he's starting to slide out for me. I'm learning how to just windshield wiper this bottom leg. I'm not taking any crazy steps. I was like this, I'm trying to drive my kneecap in. The only thing I'm doing is just windshield wiping this guy to the inside. And as I fall back, it's gonna be a perfect setup. So I'm like this, and I'm trying to drive, he's sliding that thing in. So I'm here. You can see my foot's already back underneath there. So as I'm falling back, I already have this inside. So now I can totally grab control of this. Right? So all I'm asking you to do is not any major steps. We're just going to combo them up. So now we're going to go mount, same position, but this time we missed this pocket, and this guy was like this, right? No. Let me just describe what's happening here. You're like this, but you weren't underneath this armpit, right? And he realizes you're driving him, but you don't have great control of his jaw. And what happens is this slide down to his neck. Right? It happens to everybody. They slide down to the neck. Now he can move this way. Now starts dropping this, right? And taking these feet and putting them on the outside of his hip line and really aggressively pushing me out. And remember, I wasn't under this armpit, so now I have no control of this arm, and now you're getting separated from him up here, and there's nothing you can do about it, because now the first position has gotten at I shouldn't have allowed the knee to come inside anyway. I wanted my knee inside. He wants his knee inside. He just won the battle. So there's a high likelihood I shouldn't have kept control here. I should have made a commitment to attack this leg or release this and spin to the back side and attack this arm or get to those back quadrants on the bottom. That's what I should have done. But hey, I'm setting him up also. So as he comes up, I'm going to ask you to just do that one silly little windshield. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing else. I'll see people do this. They're here, they'll pick this leg, and then they'll pick this leg up. By that time, he left. Okay? So you were here anyway. You're searching for this pocket, and he's shrimping away, and I was trying to push with this back leg that I'm slamming. Only thing I'm going to do is windshield wiper it underneath. Because as we're falling back, I'm not letting you have the leg back. I'm stopping you from getting this recovery leg. But at this point, like, it's about locking up my legs inside this pocket above this triangle, if I can. I'm not worried about this right now, not at this angle. So as we're falling back, either I'm going to throw on the outside or inside, but I'm going to say, hey, let's keep it simple right now. We're going to throw on the outside. And now this is what we're looking like. Okay, guys, let's partner and try it. So if you're going to do this, and I'm going to windshield like this, right? I'm going to be like this. And now remember what we were doing. I was trying to win this battle, but he's also trying to win this battle. So I'm like trying to win this battle, but he's trying to win this battle, right? And that's why he won. So I said, all right, let me bail on this. Let me take this, because you did win this, but let me attack you so you counter me, and then maybe I counter back. So I'm going to sit back like this, right? I was here, and we're going to go super short. I'll leave this super open so everybody could see. He starts inserting it. I lost the battle. My kneecap was fighting for this position. So if he won, my kneecap should be in this triangle right here, okay? And as I'm falling back, you're gonna have different angles of the fall back. Maybe I fall like this, and now this foot's kind of stuck here on this side. So I'm like, okay, you know what, I gotta make this commitment to throw it this way, okay? But I'm so high up here, when I fall back at this angle like this, I'm like here driving, I windshield, as I fall back, I see this awesome opportunity to take this foot and throw it on this side. I just cannot leave my feet like this, apart, okay? My feet are gonna be a certain way for a reason. when I fall, let's leave it on the thing for now. When I fall, I'm like this, right? I want to cross my bottom foot and hold my top foot on top of it. But I also don't want to be this. I don't want to be locked where this foot's dangling in the air and he goes on a toe hold, or he starts attacking that ankle in some manner. So his feet are not floated far apart. I also would love to, I know he's going to start spinning, okay? So I don't want to be lined up with what I want to break. I actually would love for my center line almost to be at his glute level right here, right down the middle of this. So as I'm sorry, Ethan will tell you, like without me doing anything, without even arching, if I start driving my hips up, I'm already on the toe line, driving the toe line down. So as I'm arching, he already feels a heel hook. He'll tell you, like, it feels like it's going to tear. I feel like it's going to tear if I arch too much. I haven't even done anything with my hands yet. So sometimes you'll see people going, squeeze it, and the guy's spinning out on top of you. So it's back, yeah. And now you see these spins going over and over. I had a real specific goal. I wanted to arch my hips high. I wanted to pull back down with my shoulder. Now I want to heist this thing up, and I want to come to that center line as much as possible because I want to tense this up that this has no slack. Ethan will tell you right now, I'm so tight on this that I'm splaying my legs down, I'm arching up as I pull my shoulders. So you have three positions of like one's countering the other, so the tension is so tight on it. I'm pushing down with these legs, right down there. I'm arching up with my hips. I'm also now, so he's got a push down there, he's got an arch here, and now I'm pulling back down with my shoulders. And now I haven't connected these things. So now when the break happens, I start leaning back here so that I keep it as tense as possible. If I'm here, you start to, Ethan just lowered his hips because the tension lessened, right? So if you want to fall back, try to capture some of those details. Remember about your feet position. And don't just practice a heel hook, just leaving your fin. Just because you hiked it up, that's just the beginning of it. I got to stop those rotations from happening. You okay? I don't know. Man, when I move, it snaps. I also don't want him to keep spinning. So try to understand that when my feet are like this, I know you're going to be like this at times. But the more I do this, the more it's easier for him to spin with me, and we go into these cannonball turns, right? So I would love to be locked and splayed because I'm going to, if the more I can be here, the more I could stop this from coming this way. I also want to slow it down. So, and then the more that I press up with it, the more control I have of this leg. And now it really gets aggressive. Paul will tell you without the crank get going. Reason I start coming this way is because if you think about the line wants to line up this way to stop the movement from coming this way. So mechanically, that's why I'm tilting this way. Because I want to keep if I'm keeping myself this way on the crank, we go this way. Right? I'm trying to counter all of that and stop the speed of the spin. Like forget going happy pill. Those videos were non-stop on how we get behind here, how we insert, how we recover, hip flips, everything. So you should be really kind of coordinated if you read long. If you haven't, if I see all messed up, I'll be yelling at you. You don't watch the happy pill. Okay, guys? So let's do it.